Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodesh. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. This is from ZeroHedge.com. All right, as you can see in the headline, it says Guillotines Mother Effer, Colorado Democratic Committee member caught on hidden camera talking violent revolution. Okay, and this is basically the spirit, all right, that is out in the world today, all right, especially here in Babylon. And there's so much tension building up, all right, to this election. People are already anticipating, okay, this happening or this happening. If this person wins, I mean, for all we know, they could postpone it, or do whatever it may be. But from the way things are headed, all right, you can see that there's a big divide, okay, within people. As the scriptures say, one people shall stand up against another, okay, with swords in their hands. See, this divide is not just opinionated, all right. It's physical. That's why they keep talking about quote unquote revolutions. And this is a so-called Democratic um, committee member, executive committee member. So it says prominent Colorado Democrat Christopher Jacks, who sits on the executive committee for the state's Democratic Party and chairman of leftist organization Our Revolution, was caught on undercover. So his leftist organization, Our Revolution, was caught on undercover footage by Project Veritas promoting a violent agenda for far left Democrats if President Trump wins in November. It says when that time comes, we got to get those type of people involved. Well, we'll find out what type of people he's talking about. It says, I am going to do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal. Because that's morally acceptable in this political environment. You hear that? This is what was he, a Democratic committee member. And this is what he's saying, man. It says, absolutely. We are pirates on a pirate ship, said Jax, who functions as a trainer, mentor, and on-the-ground quarterback at Our Revolution protests. I want to make this point very loudly and very clearly. I said it nicely before, but I'll say it more curtly now. 2020 is a political revolution, he said. Let's hear this video.
2020 is a political revolution. I am going to do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment.
This is Chris Jacks from Our Revolution, a radical left 501c4 organization bent on creating a, quote, political revolution in the United States. Jacks represents the Democratic Party here in Colorado. And Jack says a Biden administration will be used to advance his political objectives, or else there will be violence.
It's going to take a strategic hit against the 21% that's in charge, because that's who it is. It's killing random Nazis in the street, random bootlickers. So you want to do some Versailles shit? You want to do some Antifa shit? You really want to change this country that way with violence? There's only one way to do it. You got to get people that are close to billionaires and start just random billionaires start turning them down. I mean, Bezos at the top of the list. I do think there needs to be a militant group, and I love Antifa for that reason. I love that there's you always have to have somebody that's willing to hold up the flag and say, no, this is the line in the sand, and we're the ones holding that line. But they ain't stabbing motherfuckers like they used to. They don't have to, though, because they used to stab. See?
Yeah.
And that's all we got to say. Guillotines, motherfucker. That's all you got to say. Option A, what I'm proposing. Option 2, slicey boys. What are your choices? Which one do you want?
Joe Biden is presumably left-wing, and he's got a functioning signing hand. And as long as there's progressive legislation that comes across his desk, I am confident we can occupy his house. We know where he'll live.
So there you think.
And yeah, he wants to veto Medicare for all. Let him veto it. He's never leaving that house again without protest. Half of the struggle that I have ain't with Republicans. It isn't with the right wing. It's with moderates in the Democratic Party.
They underestimate how many people on the left are organized, trained, armed, and ready to go.
So you heard it from his own mouth. All right, he said it all. All right. It says, if Trump wins in the November election, I am going to be in my garage, right next to my gun safe all night long. On the 3rd, because that is how seriously I take this stuff, said Jax. Jax claims that left is armed and ready to go in the event of civil war, adding, there's a reason you guys feared the communists more than you feared the Nazis. All right. I don't know if this is the same clip. Let me see.
It's going to take a strategic hit against the 21% that's in charge.
2020 is.
Yeah, it's the same clip. It says, well, when it comes to civil war violence type stuff, there's always military guys, like former guys that stand up for the right thing. When it comes to that, then we gotta get some of those type people involved, he said. Okay, so everybody's talking violence, man. Okay, nobody's talking peace, man. As the scriptures say. All right, let's get that real quick. In the book of Ecclesiastes, that there's a time and place for everything. And right now we're in the time of violence. All right, time of war. Ecclesiastes, 3rd chapter. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right. And then I'm going to jump to verse 3. It says, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. Okay. Jump down to verse 5. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. All right. And that's what's happening. People are refraining from embracing. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And right now we're in a time of war. Okay. All right, we're in a time of war. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And today being modern day Egypt, all right, spiritual Egypt, these modern day Egyptians, all right, because they're so consumed up in this, everybody, vote this, do that. They're so consumed in this world that it's going to drive them to fight one against another. It tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra that at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Okay? So this thing, man, well, hey, like we always say, we're going to have to wait and see. All right? It says, apparently Jeff Bezos is the first guy he'd kill. Shit. It says, Christopher Jax says, if you want to do some real Versailles shit, if you want to do some Antifa shit, you really want to change this country that way with violence, there's only one way to do it. You got to get people that are close to billionaires and start. Just random billionaires start turning up debt. What does that imply? It says that nobody knows what the F's going on. Nobody knows. Nope, I don't know. They just turned up dead. All right. And just 3 or 4 of them is all it's going to take. All it's going to take, it's a pattern of I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, just showed up that way. I walked in, that's how it was. All right, basically, do it and cover it up. That's, it says that's the only way that you do that to 3 or 4 people enough to say that this is a pattern and this is why. Draw a $ sign on the desk or whatever you do. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take a strategic hit against the 1% that's in charge. Because that's who it is, killing random Nazis in the streets, da-da-da-da-da. It says, so the journalist replied, but like, who are those But he says, but like, who are those like 3 or 4 billionaires right now? That if it went to that, basically, who would be on the list? He said, Jack's reply, doesn't matter. The journalist says, doesn't matter who. And then Jack says, doesn't matter who, I mean Bezos at the top of the list. Who? And he repeats his name again. So they already got targets, they already got lists, all that. I'm not going to read this whole thing, all right? But just understand that this is the vibration that's being pushed out there, man. Okay? You have Democratic committee members talking like this, okay? So understand that they've thrown away all the fair games and all that's out the window, man. They're just like, look, depending on who wins, this is how we trying to take it. And this is on one aspect. Not to forget, you got the whole pandemic looming in the background. Okay. So, hey, could they bring the pandemic in right before and say, "Oh, things are so bad, postpone it, whatever"? We're gonna have to wait and see how this is gonna go. Okay. But just understand that we're in a time, all right, of we're not in a time of peace as we read in Ecclesiastes 3, man. All right, now is the time of prophecy to be fulfilled, and prophecy, all right, these end time prophecies are not peaceful for this place. Okay. So with that, I hope you were edified and informed. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.